Tell you what, if you get a 5-iron to perform like that at 86 miles an hour club head speed, you're a happy camper. Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So tonight, Michael, we're going to do a test of a nice new set of irons in the game improvement category.
Yeah, clean. So far, first impressions, I like the look of them. We actually had, a couple weeks ago, a customer of mine test them. You'll see what these irons do in a second, but they were impressive right out of the gates.
For specific needs for you know, that really customer of yours. When you get an iron like this, you kind of have a certain set of criteria, and as you said, we'll get into it a little bit, you know, about what's unique about these. But when an iron like this is created, it kind of stands alone to the point where you just go straight to it.
Yeah.
You don't grab 3 or 4 of them out the drawer. It's very unique in that claims are the longest iron Ping have ever made.
Yeah, most forgiving.
Most forgiving, highest MOI. So a refined package, G710, Mikey, had the black finish, the dark finish. Wasn't one that done all that well for us. It wasn't that well received.
I mean, it looked longer heel to toe.
It did.
And narrow. This, although maybe more square, more rounded, it just, off the shelf or in someone's golf bag, it looks like doesn't look like a game improvement iron. Obviously, looking down, it's bigger, but it looks very clean, really professionally done.
I've mistaken it a few times when I've seen it around the shop of the G430 line, and just head shape wise, and I can have to remind me, no, this is the super game improvement one. This is the one for the players out there who really do struggle with their irons, really do need some distance enhancement, some forgiveness. Strike is not always under control across the face, and obviously just, you know, need support in that iron category to hit a few more greens. We know proximity and how important that is from a strokes gain perspective, and that's who this really caters towards.
I think the nice thing with these two is, like, when you go strong in loft and the 7-iron's 28 and the pitching wedge is 40 and it only goes to 5-iron and it's 21.5, they're not, and like, again, we'll test in a second, but they're not just a distance club. There's a bit of control and launch and height you'll see out of these, which is in a package of this type of iron is what you're looking for.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, Ping really made a breakthrough with their iron designs. I want to say it was when the G425 iron was replaced, and they were doing some iron testing, iron bearing testing with it, and after it hit so many shots, the back badging fell off, and they kept testing it, and actually it got quite a bit hotter when the badge fell off it. And it was because the face was able to sort of flex. It had the freedom of movement. So when G430 came out, they designed the multi-sectional badging on the back, and they've obviously brought that back here. Pure Flex is what they're calling it on the back of this one, Mikey. Something that allows the dive board effect, the freedom for the upper rail just to relax and help with that launch to counter the stronger lofts.
Yeah, it's smart, especially for the speed that generally is going to use this type of iron. Giving that little bit extra is nice to have.
It certainly is. All right. Well, we're going to dial this test back. There's no point in, you know, swinging like a madman at a set of G730s. We're going to make it realistic. We're going to try and cater to the audience that we think should be watching this, excited about a product like this. We're going to try and match some swing characteristics and some speeds. Obviously, we're doing a little test here at a familiar spot where we've got to hit over a little bit of water, so there's the jeopardy of that. Should you miss one, Mikey boy?
Yep, you're in the water, the only water in Dubai.
Absolutely. It's, we're in the desert, truly. No alligators there, Michael.
No.
You'll be pleased to see.
Love it.
All right, let's see.
All right, Fraz, 125 yards. We talked earlier, the 7-iron kind of average male kind of LPGA numbers as well was 78 miles an hour with a 7-iron. So
some real correlations with those LPGA numbers and what we see. The last time TrackMan reported, the average male golfer swings drive around 94, 95 miles an hour. Updated TrackMan numbers would tell us it's a little bit faster than the LPGA now. So I think it's 96 it just went up to, as it did on the male side of things on the averages. But yeah, we're going to try and stick to that, because I do think the average male golfer, which is our core client who watches the channel, that we have some ladies which we definitely want to grow that sector of the channel and following. But right now that's the main sort of meet the bell curve for us. About 125 yard pitch and wedge is about what we think the average male will achieve. About 150, 155 7-iron, and a real good 5-iron let's be honest, there aren't many of them.
No.
You know, going around great 5 irons, about 180.
Yep.
Something like that.
Okay. 125, let's see it.
Okay.
It's a nice strike.
You know what? Had everything resembling a good strike. It was toy though.
Yeah.
You know, it was right on we're trying to hit carry at 125, 127, it flew. Jammed the toe into it, you know, and something that, again, we're really going to hopefully show a little bit of a wider dispersion pattern than maybe you'd see with a normal iron, because you can.
I think with that higher MOI, for the person playing this iron, they're not striking it out of the middle every single time.
Yep.
So to see the miss is good. Good strike.
Again, no, you'll be surprised where it was struck.
Oh, Toei again.
Toy.
That Pure Flex badge does a lot with the sound too. It doesn't sound massively clicky. It sounds quite, it sounds like a player's iron.
It's strong. Feels very strong to me. Like, feels like it's really solidly struck. Which, when you don't generate the speed, you don't often get the enhanced acoustics. I think that has been engineered, and Ping have been known to specifically try to extract a sound to invoke a reaction from a player, which is a big part of this game, is emotionally how we feel about it. Yeah, I mean, kind of coasting some of these. That 125 number it's right where we are, I think. 126 average, 76.6. Not bad. I'm going to give you one more.
Obviously, for game improvement, for a wedge, looking down on it, offset-wise, there's going to be some, but what's your thoughts on it?
It actually isn't the offset at all. The offset, I don't think, will come into it significantly until we get into like the 5 and 6 and that area. Even the 7, that's what I said when I've looked at them in the shop. I thought they were the G4 30s, not the 730s. No, it's not unappealing.
Okay, good.
For that type of golf club at all. I've seen far worse.
Yeah, they sound so good.
I just think they sound solid. You know, and they're quite consistent. I'll be curious. I'm kind of catching those all in the same spot.
Again, strikes a little bit closer into the center of the face.
Yep. Let's throw in a heel strike just to see if we can. Let's see what that is.
Yeah. Low heel.
Yeah, low heel. Lost a little bit of efficiency.
Efficiency goes down. The nice thing is, like, okay, club head speeds up a bit, but you didn't sacrifice a ton out of it.
Yeah. And
you still got, almost 125 yards
and
from
look
a
at
heel
that
strike.
peak height.
Yeah.
Still got a nice peak height out of it.
Almost 80 feet.
Okay.
Okay, Fries, into the 7 iron. Offset starts to creep in a little bit.
Yeah, it's starting to look that. But you made the point about the sort of toe to heel length. And it seemed, I don't know if it is, I haven't talked to any of the engineers about the kind of, that is one way to enhance MOI. Now, if they've been able to do that with some shaping where they've got some more weight on that side, obviously we've got the screw in here in the toe section, which we know is interchangeable, which is a great option. I just think it still looks smaller than what I would expect for the package. A trend we're seeing in iron design, make it perform like something that's bigger than what it looks. That's something we see a lot, isn't it? All right, what we got?
155 yards.
35.
Again, a toey strike, and you got a ton out of it.
What did that carry?
56. In a good way, on some of these strikes, they sound like you're hitting little hybrids. Like, they don't.
Yeah, it does sound a little
definitely
hybrids.
have a nice sound to it. Right out the middle.
Still toey, but it gives the acoustics of of being in the middle.
If you gave me toey strikes with a flight like that at
I know.
just over 90 feet in the air.
Take it all day.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing though, it surprised me, Mikey. I'm not being blown away with the distance. I'm not. I've seen fast. I feel like I've seen faster irons. I'm not feeling like I've never seen an iron go as far as this. Go to the average of it right now. Like I feel what I'm really being struck by is spin. Look at that.
93.
Yeah. Same thing all the time.
Yeah.
It's what Ping are being known for, is having the ability to mask the imperfections of the strike shot to shot, which truly is the definition of forgiveness.
Yeah.
You can put different swings on it, you can put different strikes on it, but ultimately it will deliver the same result.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know, we've seen that with their metal woods, and now we're sort of seeing those traits in the irons, and it's exactly what a golfer who wants this type of iron will tell you. They might tell you they want to hit it further, but more often they'll tell you they want to be more consistent. That's what I hear more of than, I want 25 yards. Well, take a longer club, take a hybrid.
Yeah.
But with this, I feel like it's all about consistency.
Yeah, the client that I had that fit into these, you know, he was a club and a half longer, and his like speed went through the roof. And
Really
you know, the one thing I said to him, I was like, "Look at your carry in total, how much tighter it is." And he was actually to hold it on a green here.
Totally.
So for him to get those outside, you know, like you said, everyone wants a bit of distance, but I think the control on a game improvement iron is just an added bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like if we go to the table and see what sort of height these are coming in at, 90-ish feet, 91. So I feel like we always talk about the relationship of 6-iron speed to peak height. So we've got 7-iron here, but if we look at that speed, 82 miles an hour probably on the 82 and a half. So we're sitting, you know, a good 10 feet above that, which is tells us it's elevated, it's nice. It's giving us a little bit more. Okay, let's look at the 5. Tell you what, if you get a 5-iron to perform like that at 86 miles an hour club head speed, you're a happy camper.
86 mile an hour club head speed and almost 90 feet in the air and spinning just under 4,000 is pretty good for a game improvement iron. Obviously, you're keeping your speed to a certain, mile per hour here, but you can hear out of it, if anyone was to let one go with this thing, it's just going to go for days.
It will. It absolutely will. Looks pretty easy going, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, strike is
it's not
all
bad.
in a really good spot.
It feels pretty good.
Made a comment earlier, these are harder to kind of cut into the green. Obviously, you're keeping your speed at bay. And
feels like they want to turn over a wee bit.
They just want to turn over. Which, again, for the player that needs these irons or is going to get fit into these irons, something that can turn over easy, still flight up really high, and you have a chance to spin them a little bit more.
Yeah, I felt like it was, again, good and consistent. Here's my one, I think always when you test new clubs, we want to talk about the attributes, we want to talk about the performance benefits, do the engineers justice who have spent tireless amounts of hours designing them. Let's talk about the other side of the coin. Because I feel like this is a set of golf clubs that is very fader friendly. If you do hit a bit of a weak cut, lofts, bit of offset, sort of just, as I say, feels like the head kind of wants to rotate a little bit. Let's go the other way. So just if you type in, draw, let's kind of go a little bit more of that draw golfer who plays from a slightly more of a shut stance. So a bit more of that guy, right? And I feel like from a launch angle and spin rate perspective, we change things a little bit.
Yeah.
So we keep the speed, the height comes down, spin rate is in kind of fairway wood territory now. Bit scary. And I kind of feel like that sort of nice control we had, if you are Davey Drawer versus Frankie Fader, you want to be a little bit more cautious. Maybe the 5 irons where you jump off the train, 21.5 degrees aloft.
Jump into a hybrid.
Yeah. Or retro spec.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got that option. This is standard spec, power spec, retro spec options either side of that as well. That's my only criticism. I hit that one nicely. Like, I feel like, to be honest, I could trap one. What was the path in that?
3-2 into out.
Yeah, not bad. It's kind of similar to the first one, like just a more aggressive flight. The nature of having the loft at 21.5 at standard, and I'm delivering 17.5. We talk about it with driver, it's kind of ideal driver dynamic loft. So, you know, you can see where you might start to have a problem. That's all we're trying to say. That's the other side of the coin where, you know, potentially you might want to hop off at 5 iron and then go into the hybrid at that point, pull that center of gravity back, shallow the depth of the head or the height of the head, bring that CG down, you'll find the ball goes instantly higher.
Yeah, good point.
All right, Michael, impressed?
Yeah, I mean, again, for a game...
me, not the clubs. Impressed?
No, I'm impressed with the clubs. For a game improvement iron, again, I've had clients use it, but you want something that goes high, has a ton of control and spin. You don't catch the massive flyer. It's a bigger footprint, but very clean.
Yeah.
You know, super high MOI. If you saw these in a bag, you know, kind of at the first tee, you'd look at them and you'd have to take a really hard look to make sure that they are game improvement, because I think they have really nice curb appeal. So, yeah, impressed and excited to have them in the studios for fittings.
Great to hear you've already had success with them. One thing I was doing the testing and we're, you know, fairly consistent strikers, and, you know, even at dialed back speeds, I feel like there's an element of we're testing it at that speed, but we're maybe not testing it with the variables of the average golfer who doesn't maybe play as much or swing as much as we do. So I'm delighted to hear you had that result with PING already, and, you know, exactly what it says on the tin. That's 100%. What you're going to get out of an iron like the G730, guys. So obviously we know who it's designed for. It's the golfer who's seeking more forgiveness, more distance, more height, more stopping power, trying to maybe mitigate the distance loss from the aging process, the slowing down process, whatever that may be. Be mindful of the lofts. We talked about the retro spec, which is going a bit weaker in loft, standard spec, which, you know, these are already quite strong. And there is a power spec option as well. Should you be that sort of scooper, that dynamic loft adder, there's that option as well. But they're already pretty strong, so be careful. Make sure you work with your fitter, go through the process, get them dialed in. These irons are only part of a bigger picture in the set, so every club is playing its own individual role, so you want to make sure it fits. Even if you just do an iron fit, hit the clubs around it, hit your gap wedges and hit your hybrids and make sure the gapping is appropriate. That's the only way an iron set is truly part of the grand scheme, 14 clubs or however many you carry in the bag. So really impressed, Mikey. Going to be a good addition to the demo matrix.
100%.
Love it. All right, guys. Let us know if you've tried these already, if these are on your list to try. We'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you again soon.